What happens if a woman does not have sex for a long period of time?
How long have you ever stayed without having sex, and what happened to your body? Let us talk about the changes that happen when you stop having sex. What will happen to your vagina? Will your vagina become tighter? Will you gain secondary virginity? What will happen to your libido? Will it impact your fertility? Will you get UTIs? Should you stop using birth control if you stop having sex? If you stay for long without having sex, will it affect your fertility? No. Of course, if you are not having sex, you cannot get pregnant. But when you stop having sex, it does not affect your ability to conceive in the future. Will it increase your risk of getting ovarian and uterine conditions? No. Will it affect your ovaries? No. Will it affect your menstrual cycle? No. One thing that could happen to your vagina when you stop having sex is decreased elasticity. The vagina is elastic, meaning it can easily stretch to accommodate a penis, a baby, or even a toy. And when the toy or the penis is removed, it snaps back and goes to its original size. Now, when you stop having sex for a while, I'm not talking about 1 week or 1 month. We are talking about extended periods of time, say a year or several months. The vagina loses this elasticity. It becomes tighter and does not open up or stretch that easily. For some women, this is a good thing because that means it becomes tighter, Most women don't notice anything different, but some feel a little bit uncomfortable when they decide to have sex because now the vagina has become so tight. It does not stretch as usual to give way to the penis, and this could lead to discomfort or pain during sexual intercourse. But if the pain goes on and on every time you have sex, then you want to discuss this with your doctor. The degree towards which your vagina tightens varies in different women. Let us discuss secondary virginity. I ask this question, and most women actually say that when you stop having sex, the hymen actually grows back. A hymen is a thin membrane that partially covers the vagina. You get that? Partially. But most people think that the vagina is fully closed till you have sexual intercourse and now it opens. But assuming that the vagina is totally closed, where would menstrual blood come out from? So when a virgin has sexual intercourse, the hymen stretches, tears, and sometimes based on how it looks like, nothing happens. So it's not something that can grow back anytime, and there is nothing like secondary virginity. What happens in most cases is decreased elasticity, and when most women have sex, they tend to think it has grown back, but that is complete bullshit. Now, before we see what happens to your arousal, let us see what happens to your libido when you don't have sex. Some studies actually say that when you stay for long without having sex, your libido decreases. Libido is your desire or drive to have sex. When some women stay for long without having sex, they actually lose the interest of even having it. But I have heard women telling me that now that they are not having sex, they want it more. The desire is more now that they are not getting it. But this is a little bit different for men. Sex for men is more visual than mental. Sometimes a man could be thinking about completely unrelated things like work deadlines or whether he locked the door or not. Then bam, a beautiful woman with a beautiful smile passes by, or even the memory of someone sends his brain to overdrive, and all of a sudden all the blood that was flowing towards the heart now changes direction and is flowing towards that organ, and before you know it, things are up. We will talk about what happens to men when they stop having sex in the next video. So subscribe and hit that notification bell. But for women, it is a process. You have to get her in the right headspace, help her relax, and even maybe spark a little romance. Let us look at what happens to your arousal when you have not had sex for a long time. When most women stay for long without having sex, it becomes more difficult to get aroused, and it takes longer to get aroused. So now you find that you take more time than you used to get aroused, and whatever you require to get aroused is sort of more or different. Sex is an exercise by itself, and when you are doing the activity, it strengthens the pelvic floor muscles. Now, when you abstain from sex for a long period of time, the pelvic floor muscles weaken over time, and this could lead to urinary incontinence. This is where you cannot hold urine for long periods of time, or sometimes you just find some urine leaking out. But not to scare you, because this is very rare, and we have ways to strengthen your pelvic muscles even without having sex. You can do Kegel exercises, whereby, assuming that this is the vagina, you just squeeze and let it go, squeeze and let it go, and you should keep doing this. Another exercise that you can do is yoga. Another thing that might happen when you stay for so long without having sex is sexual frustration. When you have sex, your body releases dopamine and oxytocin. These are the feel-good hormones. Now, when you stay for so long without having sex, you are depriving your body of these hormones. And with time, sexual tension kicks in, and your mind becomes preoccupied with sexual fantasies. You feel that you really need to get some. I need to get some. And you could notice changes in your body, like heaviness around the labia and the clitoris, and the breast feels more tender. Some women actually don't get these body changes, but they start getting more irritable and have very unusual mood swings. There's this place I used to work, and anytime you appeared irritable or in a bad mood, the guys there would just instantly diagnose you and are like, I know what you are missing. You also find that when some women stay for so long without having sex, they get some stress and anxiety associated with the thought of having sex. It just scares them, and they get nervous. When you haven't done something in a long time, whether it is riding a bike, giving a speech, or yes, having sex, it's natural to feel a mix of nerves and hesitation. There is a certain fear that creeps in, and a voice in the back of your mind whispering, what if I'm bad at it? When you stay for long without having sex, your chances of getting sexually transmitted infections drop, and so does your chances of getting urinary tract infections. The major cause of UTIs is a bacteria that is located in the anus all the way up to the gut. And during sexual activity, the general motion can transfer the bacteria from the bowel to the vaginal cavity, increasing your risk of getting UTIs. When you completely remove sex from the table, the risk of getting recurrent UTIs is eliminated. I am not saying that you will totally not get UTIs, but the risk of getting a UTI will be lower. If you stop having sex, then is there any need to get a birth control or continue using the method you are already using? The answer is no. Of course, if you are not having sex, then you cannot get pregnant. So if you stop using the birth control, especially the hormonal ones, you might notice some changes in your body. This is because you have pulled out some hormones from your body, and so you may notice some changes in your menstrual cycle, and you experience more natural lubrication or heightened libido. So it is good to realize that this could be due to the withdrawal of the birth control and not because you are not having sex.